How much closer are you to a team, Justin, and what's he sort of weighing up?
Same answer. We know exactly what the team is. I'm not going to tell you what the team is, not yet. So, out of respect for our player, the players don't know yet. Trevor Hones and myself will get around to them in the next, I'd say, before dinner tonight, and then it'll probably be public after that.
Is that an 11 or are you still sort of?
No, probably 12. Probably 12 at this stage. Very clear on the 12, but not so sure on the 11.
Andrew Wood?
Sorry, I can't give you more, but it's just until we've told the players, it's probably better we tell the players before we tell you.
So with the 12 and the 11, is the 12th, are you finalising the bowling or the batting? I mean, which part of you, I suppose, got in your mind that you settled?
No, it'll be the decision between the 12th man will be one of the bowlers. Very clear what the batting is.
Peter Lawler? Yes, you do.
Have you made an extra effort to sort of bond the team this week, get them together after the experience of heading there, or is it just is that just
Not an extra effort. It's always been a very strong philosophy of mine that we stick together as a team, and we've talked about that for a long time. I've talked about it through my whole tenure as a coach. I talked about it as a player as well, how important. It's a very individual game, cricket, but one of the things you can control is the team, and I think after what happened in the last Test match, it was important for us to stick together, and we've done it really well. I'm so proud of the way the boys have gone about their preparation this week. They're up and about. You can see the energy again. They've been like that throughout the whole series, and albeit a really tough loss in the last Test match, the boys are taking it on the chin and they're back into it. So couldn't have asked for more than that at this stage. Now we've got to put the preparation and that camaraderie into work in the Test match.
Sam, Tim, Hugh, John.
David Warner's beard.
Any reason behind that, or no? Steve Smith said that before the first test, it took him a while to get that rhythm, that feel, that he was back in the zone. Do you get the sense that he's back there having missed that third test?
I hope so. I've just thrown to him for about half an hour and he's moving really well. So we're all hopeful that he gets back into the zone or hits the ball in the middle of the bat. But he's showing that throughout the summer, throughout the whole time he's been here, he's been batting well. So let's hope he can continue that. It's important for our team, and it's just nice to know him back. He's back in the team.
We just saw you out in the middle before the nets doing some push-ups, catching drill. What was that all about?
Well, if I don't nick him, if I miss him, which happens very rarely these days, probably I'm a very, very good nicker. I was as a player, and I am now. I used to score a lot of runs to third man. Probably not the most attractive batsman to watch, but if I miss the nicks, I'm going to do a few push-ups, that's all. And if they miss them, then they get a little spray from the coach. So, yeah, bit of banter, bit of humour.
So, Tim?
Why have so many batsmen been hit this series?
William Wallace there with the... gee whiz, William Wallace, lucky you're not a fast bowler. It's a very good question. I think one of the reasons, seriously, is that the wickets have been a lot drier than we expected, and therefore they're a bit up and down. They haven't been as true as we've seen. Certainly we see in Australia, and we've seen maybe in our past experiences here in England. So maybe that's got something to do with it. Both teams have got excellent fast bowling attacks as well. I mean, we've got England have got a very good fast bowling attack, so have we. So perhaps there's that. Maybe I think it's probably a coincidence that the concussion substitutes just come in. It's funny how those things work out, but I haven't got an answer except that maybe the wickets have been a bit up and down, that's all.
Is there a way that batsmen could play the short ball to make themselves less likely to be hit?
Yeah, watch the ball closer. It's honest. It's you watch the ball as close as you can. If you take your eye off it, again, like my nicking down to third man, I got hit a lot when I was a player, and the lesson I learned is if you watch the ball really closely, you very rarely get hit. So that's the number one for performance and for ensuring that you don't get injured.
Hugh?
Any issues with David Warner's hand? He seemed to be complaining about, or was strapped out there before. You know?
No. You saw how well he caught in the last Test match at first slip. I mean, his catching was brilliant. He's worn stuff on his hands his whole career, so his hands are fine.
Steve Waugh being back in the camp, what impact has that had since he left and then has now come back? Is there any change in the camp when he's back there, and what's he going to add?
No, there's a reason we have guys like him and Ricky over. I mean, we talk about growing our leadership within the group. To be able to rub shoulders with those guys is a huge opportunity for them. It was brilliant. Stephen was only meant to here for the first 2 Test matches, and he's enjoyed it that much. He wanted to come back, so we always welcome a Australian cricket Test legend and Australian captain back into the camp. If they want to be here, then what an opportunity for our young blokes to learn from. So haven't really noticed much of a difference, except that the boys love having him here.
And just quickly, Stuart Broad's just spoken about the positive impact for England in having the days off, the extra days off in between these 2 tests. Is there any, what benefit have you had from playing that tour match in Derby as opposed to having days off if you weren't playing?
Look, in my opinion, the best practice is match practice. We can have a bit of time to. We rested a number of our first 11 players for the reason of giving a mental break and a physical break. So the guys, I think there were 6 or 7 guys who had a good break down in Derby. The guys, imagine the other guys on the bench who don't play any cricket. They want to play cricket. They don't want to be in the nets or running drinks the whole time. So really good. We got plenty out of that game at Derby. Boys running around. We played good cricket. We played to win a game, a 3-day game in 2 and a bit days is a pretty good effort. So we got plenty out of that. And we're worried about our preparation, not England's preparation.
John?
Just, you took a few blows, as you said, in your time. What do you think will be going through Steve Smith's mind as he prepares to face Archer for the first time here?
Yeah, very good question. It's not just Archer. I think it's all the bowlers. When you get hit, it's always like a little voice on your shoulder. But I also know about Steve Smith and the really good players. They've got to have strategies to score runs and to not get out, and it's the same as to not get hit. You've got to have a good strategy, and he works the game out better than anyone I've ever met in my life. So he would have thought long and hard about it, and if anyone's going to be able to get over any little demons, it'll be Stephen.
Has he been facing plenty of short stuff to sort of prepare for that?
Yeah, he has, yeah. And as you'd expect he would. But a lot of it will be, he's faced lots of short pitch bowling in his life, so a lot of it will be how he organises his mind. So, and as I said, he's organised it better than anyone, so yeah, he should be right.
Last 3, Bharat, Dino, Daniel.
Justin, you had a one-on-one session with David Warner in the Indonet some time back. When a batsman keeps getting out to a certain line of attack like that, is it just mental or could it be technical? Were you just giving him an information that he was doing things right?
No, he like all players, he's preparing as well as he can for this Test match. He's got some pretty good balls throughout the series, and that can happen. We know how destructive he can be. We know how important he is to the Australian cricket team. I think one great David Warner inning could certainly retain the Ashes for us, in my view. So he's just working hard. We work hard with all the players to make sure they're ready for this Test match, and he's up and about. He knows that he hasn't had the best of series so far. As I said before, the last Test match, when really great players miss out a few times, it puts a smile on your face because you know they're not far off.
Just in the Ashes series in the past have been littered with English all-rounders doing some special things. I think Kim Hughes might have even said in 81 that there was nothing really he could do. BP was just on one of those runs. Do you get a sense that Ben Stokes is on one of those runs, and what can you do to stop him?
Yeah, what a summer he's had. Whilst everyone will talk about his runs in that last Test match. What blew me away, and I've seen it before, was that spell of bowling he had the day before, where he's the vice captain of the team and the captain needed him, his country needed him, and he just kept running in and bowling, and then he got that vital wicket at the end. You know, that's great spirit. So he deserves it. Actually, he deserves the luck he's getting, because you see the spirit he plays with, and that's what great players do. So he's had a golden run. I hope it doesn't last for 2 more Test matches, but I've got huge respect for him. The way he goes about his cricket, got great respect for him.
Does it make it easier or tougher for you to kind of process the last couple of games where he back-to-back hundreds, and I guess in the field the bowler's trying to work out how to bowl to him, what they can do to him? Does it make it easier to process if you think he's just doing these extraordinary things, or does it make it a bit tougher?
No, not really. We've got our plans for him, and the benefit of an Ashes over, say, a World Cup is we've had three really good looks at him and his teammates. Like England had 3 good looks at us as well. So we will have our plans for him for the next Test. We can't control what he does, but at least we've got to execute the plans we've had. I think we have. The first innings as well, I think he was 1 off 68 balls or 70 balls. I mean, that was unbelievable. The way he was able to leave the ball, great discipline. He's got a very good technique. So our plans were pretty good. And if we go back to Lords, our plans, Nathan Lyons bowled very, very well against him. We've dropped a few catches off him. So if we execute our plans and we take our catches, well, things could be different, but they're not. And he is having a huge impact on this series, like he did on the World Cup.
Last one.
Justin, we know you do a lot of reading about sport and life. How much of that is how people who are, over the course of their careers, successful, dealing with failure within that to ultimately, I suppose, overcome or achieve what they want to?
I think the champions all have had times of adversity, whether it's in business, whether it's in sport, whether it's in life, and the ones that come back from it. Think about Muhammad Ali getting his bike stolen after the last week. He got his bike stolen, and that was the fire that he needed to become the greatest boxer of all time. And we felt a bit like we got our game, the Ashes stolen the other day. Now we've got to work out whether we, and to England's great credit, that's what they did. They won that Test match, and so we felt a bit like it had been stolen from us. But now we've got to work out what we're going to do. We're going to use that as fire. We're going to feel sorry for ourselves and let it slip. The great players and the great teams, and in business or life, they have their ups and downs, but they always fight back from it. You wouldn't see one champion player or one champion team or one champion business who hasn't done that.